Welcome back to Living with a Classic, and we're getting close to the end of the year here, so I'm thinking about the last projects I want to do before 2022 is over. This year's gone by really quickly, I feel, but still, when I look back on it, when I scroll back in videos, lots of things have been done, but there are two projects I would like to get done. But to do that, I need to reshuffle in here. So I got one car sitting in the door, which is one of the cars that we're going to get done. And one of the other ones I want to get done is going to get in here in this spot. And well, you guys will find out. There is a reason for the madness of moving everything around. So the S-Type V8 is sitting in the door, and that is one of the cars I want to get done before the end of the year. We're very, very close. It's basically some pipes and a radiator and hooking up a transmission mount, because I think that's just temporarily in place, prop shaft, and this thing could burst into life. However, when I start this for the first time, I want to let it run for a bit because it's a Jag V8. You just don't want to turn it off right away because you might not restart with washed liners and all of that. And this is a junkyard engine, and I mean, we've gone through bits of it, so it seems to be really good. I've also had a lot of oil down the cylinders, and I've turned it over every now and then, so it should be good. However, when I fire it up, I don't want it to be sitting in there like it did before, spewing exhaust out in here, and it just smokes up the whole shop and everything around here. We have a stable next door, so I don't want that to happen. So it's going to be sitting kind of where it is right now when I start it up, so that the exhaust goes out to the door. And yeah, because I want to get this thing running for about 20 minutes or so when I fire it up before I turn it off, just to make sure that everything is fine. But another car is going to end up in here, which is one of the big projects I want to do now, and need to do a lot of cleaning up as well. But let me get this thing out of here. To get it back in, we're going to use the winch, and then I'll go and get the car that we're backing up in there. And yeah, we'll see how this all turns out. It's a bit dark out here, but just hooked up the battery. It's almost freezing outside. Let's see if this V12 wants to come to life. No. Well, I brought a jump pack, so let's hook that up. Jump pack is on. Let's see. I think I need to go hit that boost button. I think I forgot about that. So close. Yes, got it going. It isn't the happiest in the world, but at least it's sort of running. Yeah, you guys can't see a thing, but the lights are coming to life. Come on. Yeah, I'm gonna let this thing warm up a little bit, see if we can get this into the workshop. The alternator is a little slow on this thing to wake up into life, but now we have lights outside and it's working. So let's get into the workshop. Well, we still have fuel in it. It's very low on fuel. So one of the projects I want to finish before the end of the year is the HE XJS, the one that we got going for the first time in over 20 years in the spring. Still runs really, really well. Just the battery was a bit flat then, but once it started charging, it ran really, really nicely. But we still need to do everything to it. Remove the fuel rail, do all the hoses, cam cover gaskets, water pump, all the hoses, put it back together. So that's something I want to get done before the end of the year, and then we can get this back to its owner. And the owner is Dan, the guy who's fixing my XJS. So he'll be done with mine at about the same time that hopefully this is done, and then we're just going to swap cars again. And he'll have a nice summer car for next summer to drive a bit in, and I'll have my XJS to put back together. You can see here, the winch is all the way pulled out. And over here, we have the V8 S-Type. So let me get that into the workshop, and then we'll talk about what's left to do on that one, because that is the car that we're going to finish first before the XJS. After some good use of that winch, I'm really happy I got it. If you haven't seen it before, it's just a regular sort of really cheap off-road winch that I bolted through the wall. On the other side there's a railroad I-beam, so really not an issue with strength. Works really well. Just use a spare battery for it, and it's strong enough to pull cars in here.
So far I've used it maybe about 4 times or so, and it's worked really, really well. So I've kept the space here because I still want to be able to bring in a car for something small if a daily driver needs something, anything like that. And also it's good to have a little bit of room. However, this thing is facing the right way now, so when I need to fire it up, I can actually get the exhaust out of here, and that will be good because I think it'll be quite a smoky startup. I think just also how it ran before, but now with new engine and oil in there, I think it's going to be quite smoky. The V12 here, the XJS, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to remove the bonnet or just have it up 90 degrees and sort of get to everything, but I can move the car forward a little bit. That's no problem at all. Then I can steer it out and I can get plenty of room to get on it on both sides. So really, really good location. Enough space to walk in here and everything. And here's enough space to walk around on both sides of it as well. Plenty of space down that side. So not an issue. Next thing I need to do on this thing is get it up in the air and do some things underneath, and then it can come down again for the last time, and then just a radiator and a couple of intake things. This thing has been probably one of the most difficult projects I've ever done, not in complexity, but just testing my nerves, because every single bolt I've touched has either stripped or snapped or something like that. It's really weird. I've spent more time drilling things out and tapping things than doing everything else. And I've used heat and everything to get them off, but certain ones, especially some on the exhaust, they just snap. So yeah, lots of drilling and lots of things. But now I finished the last of the drilling and threading on the exhaust. So I'm very much looking forward to just get this thing up and running, and for my family friend whose car it is to be able to enjoy it. So that is the next big thing. I want to get this thing started before we do a bunch of things on the XJS. So I'm going to get this thing up in the air now and stick some jack stands under it. But I wanted to show you guys a little bit what we have in store at the end of 2022. And that's it for today's video. Just a little bit of shuffle around of the cars. And you guys might be wondering, well, maybe it was a little bit wasted time. Well, I like it this way better, and it's going to work when I fire this thing up, because behind that wall over there where the entrance is, on the other side of that is the stable and horses. So I don't want to be running a car for long with just exhaust fumes just pouring into there. That really wouldn't work well. And also the way it was set up, I need to get it away from the wall to be able to do this exhaust work. And if I got that bit of the car away from the wall, then I would have to bump into it every single time I walk into my workshop. So I just didn't like that, and I moved it over here. But sometimes you also need to change things up to get a little bit of motivation. It's been sitting there for a while, and it's just, yeah, I've just been annoyed with it. Now that I moved it, I feel more excited with more room around it to actually work on it. And sometimes you need a little bit of motivation just to change things. Anyways, I hope you guys are looking forward to these two projects here in December and a few other videos as well. I'm trying to bring you guys, like I said, some extra fun and some different content here in December. Sadly, the channel's been dipping a little bit the last month or so, and I'm hoping that you guys still want to stick around to see these cars. But let me know if there's anything else you want to see on the channel, if anything you want me to change up, just let me know. I'm always wanting to change and evolve things. Really, I'm filming all of this for your entertainment. So let me know what you want to see, and I'll do my best to film that. Anyways, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with friends. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. It really does help out a lot. Until next time, I'm Adam. This was Living with a Classic. I'll see you soon.